The anti-aircraft trailer is incorrectly advertised as being customizable within the Mobile Operations Center or Avenger within the Career Builder description, but realistically you can only modify it in the bunker. On top of that, if the truck driver towing the vehicle is in passive mode, the other player can still fully use the trailer and it cannot be destroyed by explosives, although homing missiles can still target the trailer and kill the gunner. But that's just one of the many trailers in the game, and although I've already covered one fact for every single car in the entire game, we have not covered every single trailer yet. So let's do that now, while we're still waiting for trailer 3 for GTA 6. The extended army trailer is only actually used or seen twice. It's first seen during the flight school lesson Moving Landing, where you must land a Swift on top of the moving truck with the trailer attached to it. It's nice that they use the extended trailer instead of the regular length because it gives you a much larger area to land on. It's also used during the mission Sidetracked, where they're used to tow away a freight trailer and a well car. It's also interesting to note that if you do manage to spawn this in free roam or story mode, you can't connect any trucks to it and will be unable to tow this on your own. The shorter version of the Army trailer is actually tied as the second heaviest trailer in the entire game, which is surprising considering it's a flatbed with no extra add-ons, and doesn't have the cutter on it, which we'll talk about in a moment. The trailer itself weighs 10,000 kilograms, but our next version, the Civilian Army trailer, should weigh an extra 25,000 kilograms due to the cutter being placed on the back, but instead it weighs the exact same amount. Since the cutter is actually attached to the trailer and part of the trailer's entire body in the code, the cutter's main lights are always on at night when the trailer is supposed to have its marker lights on, because the cutter's lights are being used as the trailer's marker lights since it doesn't have any. As for the Army Tanker trailer, there is an unused text label that refers to the vehicle as Army Tanker, but since the player cannot drive the vehicle in-game without the use of trainers or mods, the display name is never actually shown on screen. On the labels on the side of the trailer, the number 1 at the end of both numbers is slightly faded or worn compared to everything else, and I'm not sure why, and it's stated that the trailer is full of zero gas, which is likely referencing the in-game company Zero, which does work with gas. Or perhaps it's a play on words because the tanker trailers in this game are ridiculously light, and it's explaining that by saying it's empty. The Bale trailer doesn't have any official spawns in the entire game, and can only be towed by the Fieldmaster. It's completely unused, not being seen in any missions or spawning anywhere around the map, which is odd considering it's one of the only vehicles in the entire game that we don't see anywhere, and I don't think they're going to be using it in the Kortz Heist, but I guess you'd already know that because the update will be out by the time this video goes out. The large trailer hauling Michael's boat, also known as the Big Boat trailer, has a frontal warning pattern on the top of the trailer that clips through the first support beams. I'm not sure why this is the case, or why these warning patterns would be there kind of floating, but they do clip through. On top of that, the reflective strips on the side of the trailer at the front aren't connected to the trailer at all, and if you look at it from a certain angle, you'll see them floating before they eventually disappear when looking at them from behind. The trailer also lacks axles, causing the wheels to appear to float within the wheel wells, and they're not connected to each other through the middle of the trailer. On top of that, the trailer doesn't feature any legs at the front, allowing it to fall flat to the ground. This would make it impossible to connect any trucks to it because you wouldn't be able to drive underneath it. Regardless, this trailer can't be hooked up to any trucks either way, and is only used in the one mission where Michael's boat is stolen. The small boat trailer is one of the most common trailers we see spawning around the map, sometimes with boats on it and sometimes with no boats on it. But it's really interesting to note that the vehicle's metadata indicates that the Seminole, Rancher XL, and BJ XL were at one point supposed to be able to tow this trailer, but none of the vehicles were actually given a trailer hitch to be able to do so. It's also likely that the Bodie and Chernobog were able to tow this trailer, as they feature tow hitches, but lack any trailers in their actual data. Now the Chernobog can haul things like the anti-aircraft trailer, but not these regular trailers, which is odd. It's a similar one for the boat trailer with the dinghy on it and the boat trailer with the sea sharks on it. Now these are static models that can be towed around the map, and you can hook them up to all sorts of vehicles. But when they were initially added for certain missions in online, the APC was unable to connect to them. Now if you spawn them in story mode, you can connect to them, but in online, sometimes the APC still just doesn't work. The main box trailer had a different model in the first GTA 5 trailer, where it assumed the design of the Fame or Shame model with a slightly raised front section to accommodate the fifth wheel attachment. But in the final game, All configurations of this trailer, including ones we'll talk about in the future, excluding Fame or Shame, assume a completely different, fully squared off model. The car carrier trailer has various cars that are listed as spawnable on the trailer, so when you see this vehicle around the map, it will have different vehicles on the trailer itself. But there are vehicles on this list that don't appear in normal spawn rates or in normal gameplay, and thus are unable to spawn on the trailer. These include the 811, the Adder, the Snowy Acia, the Bestia GTS, the Cheetah, the Comet Retro Custom, the Entity XF, the FMJ, the Infernus Classic, the JV700, the Jester Race Car, the Monroe, the Pisswasser Dominator, the Redwood Gauntlet, the 770, the Mariachi Tornado, Tornado Custom, and Tornado Rat Rod, as well as the Tropos Rally, Turismo Classic, and Turismo R. But also on this list is the trailer car carrier, the vehicle that we're also talking about. And it's probably good that this thing doesn't spawn on the trailer because I think that would glitch out the entire game. This trailer also has a Pac-Man static version that's seen in the mission Pac-Man, where different vehicles are hauled for Devin Weston. However, it also contains a red stinger, which is not seen in any of the car theft mission strands prior to the finale Pac-Man. And we can either assume that the stinger was stolen by Lamar after he joined the team, or was supposed to be a mission that was cut from the final game. You can also see the Cheetah on the trailer, which follows its beta version of the car with a glass roof. The final version of the car has a totally different roof. And similar to the cutter that's on the trailer, the headlights and taillights of the car props are programmed to work as marker lights as well. So when you're driving the trailer at night connected to a semi-truck, you'll see that these lights are on. The Christmas trailer that was added a few years back is heavily inspired by the Coca-Cola Christmas trucks, which have been used to advertise Coca-Cola products around Christmas time since 1995. And it will only spawn in online with the Christmas Phantom towing it, as it drops presents as it drives around a set route around the map. You cannot steal this vehicle or hook up to it with your own truck. The container trailer has two different versions, one that's just a static container, and the other that has fabric sides. These operate the exact same, and it's basically just a different livery of them. But speaking of liveries, there was a Jet Sam and Bill Gecko livery that can be found in the textures for the container trailer, but are unused on the actual trailer you can pull. These are likely reused from the static prop ones that we see around the map with those liveries on them, but the trailer can't actually spawn being towed around the map with those designs. During the gun running DLC, they added another version of this container trailer where the container could be colored. Now, due to a programming error in the delivery mission using the phantom wedges in the gun running DLC, it's likely that these were intended to spawn as the potential delivery trailers when you drive the phantom wedge across the map alongside the existing one, but the game's code forces it to be the old version of the container trailer and not the new colorable version. Similarly, we have the dock trailer, which is another trailer that just features a shipping container on the back, but the mail attachment section, or the front area where the truck hooks up, is much longer and much more open, meaning that the maneuverability of this trailer is much more apparent, being able to make tighter corners without making a collision with the truck. But if you turn too sharply, the game will just disconnect the trailer, so it kind of makes that entire point null and void. Regardless, some semi-trucks are unable to rehook onto this trailer as the actual front is too low to the ground for trucks to reverse under it. And on the rare chance you find this vehicle being driven around the map and you disconnect it from the truck you're driving it from, it might be impossible to reconnect it. That is, of course, unless you have a forklift nearby and you know the little trick to make it lift anything. The Fame or Shame trailer has a different front area, as we mentioned before, that's slightly raised compared to the regular box trailer. This only spawns with the Fame or Shame livery and is only used in the one mission where we save Tracy. This model has since been reused once in online, but we'll talk about that in a moment since it's a totally separate model. The base civilian flatbed trailer allows players to stand freely on the back and use any weapons without risk of falling off. However, if the driver pulling the trailer starts to make a lot of erratic moves or sharp turns, the player can risk sliding off the trailer since you don't stand statically on one point, and it does move a little funky. This also means that anytime you put cars or other things on the trailer, they will just slide off as soon as you start moving. The grain trailer was originally alongside its bale trailer equivalent, being one of two vehicles that were never seen in the game. That wasn't until the Los Santos Drug Wars update for GTA Online, which allowed the vehicle to spawn during one of those missions. So, unlike the bale trailer, this is actually seen within gameplay now. Now there are green and yellow variations of this trailer that can be seen around farms and warehouses in Blaine County, some of them with the hopper or tipper raised and the tailgate open, and they all bear HVY markings that are slightly smaller than the final model. The logging trailer is just a regular flatbed trailer with logs on top of it, plus an additional front guard that we don't see on the base flatbed. This actually adds weight, about 1,500 kilograms more, so it doesn't operate like the cutter and does perform differently, slowing down the vehicle and having a bit more weight to it when you turn compared to the regular flatbed. The LS Panic trailer is very similar to the Fame or Shame version, following that exact same model with a different livery. But instead of making it the same vehicle with a different livery, they just duplicated the model, added the livery onto the new one, and only made it possible to spawn in one salvage yard mission. The Mobile Operations Center is the only other trailer that we can own and customize like the anti-aircraft trailer. But despite having no alternative side entrance on the outside of the vehicle, you can exit the MOC via a side door in the front bay of the trailer from inside, which obviously doesn't make any sense. If you buy the MOC with the personal vehicle storage installed and put a personal vehicle inside, then change that to a weapon and vehicle workshop to replace the personal vehicle storage, the vehicle within it will be preserved and can still be requested through the interaction menu even if another vehicle is stored in the new weapon and vehicle workshop. To fix this, the vehicle must either be sold or stored in a different garage where you can view it again. If the player destroys the trailer with a personal vehicle inside the vehicle workshop, the vehicle will also be destroyed but can be replaced at no extra charge. Interestingly, none of the cannons on the exterior actually function properly. If the gunner operates a cannon turret, for example, anyone looking at them from the outside cannot tell what direction they are aiming. Plus, the front cannon may tilt sideways when performing sharp turns with the truck, or when a player moves it by passing right over them. The rake trailer is the only trailer that can be towed by the Fieldmaster that does spawn in regular sessions. Interestingly, the sand rake does have tires that can be popped by shooting either side of the rake or lighting it on fire. And occasionally when the trailer is destroyed with an explosive weapon, flames can be seen on either end and far away from the trailer itself, appearing as if the trailer is much longer than it actually is. There's also a ramp version of the regular box trailer, which some semi-trucks are unable to rehook to because it's too low. This model appears to be much taller than the regular box version, but maybe it's just because I have it hooked up to the dock tug here. The smallest trailer in the game has two different models, but follow the same name in the game's files as storage or generator trailer, or just trailer small. Now these trailers indicate that the Seminole, Rancher XL, and BJ XL were also at some point able to tow them, similar to the boat trailer, which makes sense. They're the only other trailers that can be found spawning around the map in story mode. The utility trailer appears to draw some inspiration from the Wilstow or Maypole utility trailer, but it could also draw inspiration from a lot of other types of trailers, including the Easy Line series. Now every prop that spawns in the back of this trailer is completely loose and on its own, so they will just come loose from the vehicle as you drive. The generator version of the trailer doesn't seem to actually connect the back mudguards properly, as there are still gaps between them and the black side extensions, causing them to appear as if they float. And finally, the tanker trailer, which has been in the game since day one, but in the GTA Online Los Santos Tuners DLC, during a lost contract planning mission called Transport Method, the picture that was used on the GTA Wiki is also used on the cargo list clipboard, which the player must take a photograph of during the mission. This image was originally uploaded to the Fandom Wiki by Monkey Police 188, and is now seen on the new GTA.wiki site that moves away from fandom, has a lot less ads, and is being updated with all the Kortz Heist DLC information and anything we get about GTA 6. So be sure to use their new website and not the old fandom one. This picture was taken 4 years before the Los Santos Tuners update was actually released, and this is the first time that the tanker has referred to only a trailer in the entire GTA franchise. In its previous appearances, it was just called the tanker, but had a truck and trailer combo that couldn't be disconnected. And I covered all of this in this video, where I went through every single vehicle that has returned in more than 2 games across every single GTA game. There was also a second version of the tanker trailer that was added for the Heist DLC that removed all of the Ron branding, and it's only seen in Series A, Steel Meth, where it was retrieved by the crew from the O'Neill brothers and can be delivered to Chef under Trevor's orders. So there you have it, one fact for every single trailer in the game, and if you want facts for every single car in the game, check out this video, because I covered every single vehicle. That's why the video is so long. I covered all 950 something vehicles in the entire game and gave you at least one fact for every single one.